Hello, my name is Joe Armenta. I'm a student at West Coast University, and today I'll be presenting the article entitled The Impact of Adolescent Binge Drinking and Sustained Abstinence on Affective State. The article, published in August 2013 under the Alcoholism, Clinical and Experimental Research Journal in association with the International Society for Biomedical Research on Alcoholism. To summarize the peer review, the authors of the article analyzed a randomized control study for approximately 6 weeks, no more than 6 weeks, to explore the difference between adolescents whom are exposed and partake on heavy episodic alcohol drinking with those whom are not exposed and remain abstinent. The results will reveal both neuropsychological and psychosocial effects, and in this case, mood is being assessed, which are the effects of drinking. And furthermore, the effects of abstinence. Additionally, the observed abstinent period following binge drinking is analyzed and compared with the control group, the non-drinking adolescents. The article further discusses the experiment and analyzes the study and its methodology, which we'll get more into. The purpose of this article is to analyze via research the affective state, in this case it's mood, of heavy episodic drinking or binge drinking adolescents. Furthermore, the research is aimed to find out whether or not mood changes will improve or return to baseline if one remains alcohol-free following a heavy drinking episode. Another reason for the research is simply because there isn't enough data or no known data that explores the adverse impacts of alcohol consumption and its adverse effects on developing teens. In summary, the goal of the study is to examine the impact of repeated heavy episodic drinking on neuropsychological and psychosocial functioning during adolescence, of course, and changes in its functioning with followed sustained abstinence. The peers of the article predicted that negative mood changes will return to baseline following a period of sustained abstinence, which is anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. The exposed group, or the heavy drinkers or binge drinking adolescents, would report greater depression and anxiety symptoms in comparison to the control group, the non-drinking adolescents. The negative mood changes would reveal themselves during early abstinence following the heavy episodic drinking, and that negative moods would eventually normalize over a period of 4 to 6 weeks of sustained abstinence. Additionally, it was expected that youth engaged in behavior in heavier drinking alcohol and substances such as drugs or recreational drugs prior to the baseline would actually demonstrate a more negative effect at baseline and a larger change in negative effect with sustained abstinence. The randomized control group consisted of 2 groups of adolescents, ages from 16 to 18 years old. The age group is indeed correct for adolescent period according to the World Health Organization. The selected exposed group would have been engaged in recent repeated binge drinking. The non-exposed group or control group consists of simply non-drinking youth. The population area that was selected was indeed limited to a geographical area of San Diego County and its local school districts. After screening, the selected candidates were 39 These 39 were assigned to the exposed group and 26 individuals as the control group. The observational period for the study is a 4 to 6 week window of abstinence post having repeated heavy drinking episodes. All candidates were asked to refrain from any type of drinking, any type of alcoholic drinks. During the study, to assess the moods of the current psychosocial status, 3 in-person assessments were conducted during the observational period of abstinence. The Hamilton Rating Scale for Anxiety and Depression was used to assess current mood. Additionally, teens were asked to reply via text message anywhere from 3 to 6 times a day to assess psychological and psychosocial status. Furthermore, to encourage participation and adherence to the program or the study, teens were offered a $100 bonus for their compliance. And you might ask yourself, well, how do they test? That was very simple. To verify whether or not these adolescents were refraining from drinking, urine sampling and testing was conducted every other day, about 3 to 4 times a week. The findings of the study were analyzed and indicate that binge drinking, for one, has a negative effect on adolescents. It creates basically a bad mood. Both males and females were affected. According to the study, we can now say that there is a correlation between heavy alcohol use or binge drinking and mood states of adolescents. However, there's a difference between males and females. Females displayed a more negative mood change and more immediate mood change. Males recover faster than females from these psychosocial status. It was found that the recovery times varies, and those with a history of alcohol use need additional time to return to their baseline status. This article was of interest to me. I selected this article simply because of the title. It involves a topic that I immediately thought of, which is not discussed in this class, which is ethics. The moment I read the article, made me think about the ethical aspect of the study and made me wonder how they approach the study. In the United States, a legal age for purchasing and consuming alcohol is 21 and over. And the study was conducted in Southern California within the United States of America. Furthermore, it is illegal to provide alcohol to a minor. It turns out that parents were asked to sign consent forms, and no teen was submitted to drinking any type of alcohol beverages. The study was purely based on what candidates reported, and it was purely based on whether or not the adolescents admit to having binge drinking in the past. I find this a great limitation. Also, another great limitation of the study is the size of the groups. A very small size cannot therefore make generalized assumptions for a bigger population. It is really too small to place and generalize. And also, another great limitation is that because we're dealing with hormonal changing developing teens, we cannot assert whether the mood changes were purely as a result of heavy episodic drinking or binge drinking. However, I completely found this study to be a first of its kind. It involves modern technology such as texting, and it involved social media, which is very trustworthy amongst all adolescents nowadays. Thank you for watching.